Everybody, Colton Woods here with Colton Woods Horsemanship, and it is the middle of December of 2019. I'm going to go ahead and date this video a bit because we are getting close to the Kentucky Extreme Mustang Makeover competition, and I want to welcome all of our Mustang folks that are considering competing in a Mustang Makeover event or have already competed and follow us along. But this video, guys, we're going to go through the rule changes that have happened from the 2019 Makeover to the 2020 Makeover. So I've got the 2019 rule packet that they hand us at the Kentucky Extreme Mustang Makeover event in 2019, and then I've got the rule packet for 2020 events here as well. Now, what we're going to do to make sure this video stays current is that if there's any more changes along the way leading up to this event, we'll post those in the description down below of this video, rather than having to create a whole new video or to having to delete this one in general. We'll just post those down there below. But guys, we're not going to go through all the rules necessarily. We're just going to go through the major changes because honestly, the drama machine got started up about 2 or 3 weeks ago. By that I mean Facebook. And I noticed that some people were talking about some new rules in the rule book and how people were upset and some people were happy about them. And, you know, whether I'm considering competing in an event for the first time or I'm going to compete in an event for the new year and they published a new set of rules, sometimes organizations will post a new set of rules, but it's the same set from the previous year. There's been no changes. In this case, you know, we've had some changes in the rule book and in the basic guidelines and regulations for the Extreme Mustang Makeover event. But anytime I'm considering competing in an event for the first time, I need to learn what the rules are. And if I'm going to go back and compete again, I'm definitely going to read the rules again to make sure that I'm caught up and I'm aware of what I'm getting myself into, making sure you can play by the rules, making sure you know how the rules work, and how they work for you and how you can make the rules work for you along the way. So all that's pretty important. And we'll get into a little bit of drama that got started on Facebook about apparently a new rule. But guys, let's go ahead and dive in. So the 2019 rule, the 2019 section, I'm going to start from the very beginning in the overview. We had to have applications in by January 4th. We pretty much had to have it in by the first of the year, right? I mean, you had to have your letters of recommendation. You had to have your application for the BLM, for the Mustang Heritage Foundation. You had to have your bio. You had to have your photos. You had to have everything in there for that by the first of the year. We have until February 1st this year to get our February 21st of 2020 to get all of that information in. So we have almost a month longer, which is going to be pretty handy. But that is kind of a result of something else, and that is the fact that pickup this year is almost 2 to 3 weeks later than it was last year, okay? So last year we had pickup, but the third week of February, it was 23rd, 24th of February was pickup for 2019. 2020, February, we're not having any February pickup, excuse me. We've got pickup in Springfield, Ohio, which is going to be the 13th and the 14th of March. March 13th and 14th in Springfield, Ohio. And then you can also pick up in Murray, Kentucky, which is Western Kentucky, March 14th and 15th. So there's the kind of the big scheme of things with those dates. Now, I'll jump down just for a hot second because later on in the packet, we also have the dates that we're competing. This year, we're going to be competing on June 25th to 27th, which is pretty close to when we competed last year. Last year, we competed June 20th to 22nd. So this year, 2020, be June 25th to 27th. And we pick up March 13th or 14th in Springfield, Ohio, or 14th and 15th in Murray, Kentucky. And so what does that mean? Well, there's a pretty big change with that comes, and that means that this year we have 104 days to complete the Extreme Mustang Makeover Challenge. That is from the March 13th to June 25th. So from the very first day you can pick up to the very first day of competition, there is 104 days to get your horse as trained as you possibly can. Now, what does that really mean? Well, I think hindsight is kind of interesting because last year when you ran the dates, there was 117 days to get your horse trained from the first day of pickup to the first day of competition. And so we've essentially lost 2 weeks, which is a significant amount of time when you're talking about a matter of 100 days to 114 days. There's a large percentage there in that. So I thought that was a significant. That's certainly something you want to take into consideration when you're considering this event, because it is an added level of difficulty and challenge. But everyone's got the same challenge, so it's not like it's unfair because everyone has the same amount of time, right? But you only have 104 days. So there we go. Now, another interesting change on the very first page, we're just going to knock it right out of the park, right? So typically these events have been notoriously known for providing horses that are ages 3 to 6, mares and gelding, and it says something to the effect of as uniform in size and age as possible, is what they tell us, right? So normally it's been Mustangs, mares and geldings 3 to 6 years old. Okay, well, 2020 is a little different, folks. 2020 it will be, and it reads, the Mustangs will be mares ages 3 and older, and as uniform in size and age as possible. Mustangs will have current vaccinations, current coggins, and hooves trimmed. So, all mares in 2020 for the Kentucky Makeover, and 3 and older. Now, I had read this as a pretty big change. In the document we got in 2019, it said that we were going to receive mares and they were 3 and older, but typically, and I'm pretty sure everything there last year was age 3 to 6. This year, it has been spelled out from the very beginning that there's 3 and older, so who knows if you end up with a 7 or 8 year old. I don't think that they would typically do that for the event, because it's not always in the best interest, because you got to think about, from the Mustang Heritage Foundation standpoint and the Extreme Mustang Makeover as an event, their priority is to showcase how trainable these horses are and to be able to give everybody the best opportunity to work with a horse that is highly trainable and to be able to showcase themselves and their horses at the event and put on a very successful event. And so all of these rules are definitely created in the best interest of the competitors. The one other thing that they also included was incentive awards on the first page, and before it was just kind of vague. There would be a Young Gun Award, there'd be a Rookie Award, and there would be a Silver Bullet Award. This year they specify and saying there's going to be 9 total incentive awards, which will be presented to the trainers with the top 3 highest combined preliminary scores in the following categories. Something kind of minor. It'll just be something that how it shakes loose, and I've read through that several times. I'm not exactly sure if that means three incentives, or like the top 3 for Rookie or the top 3 for Silver Bullet, the top 3 for Young Gun. I don't know if that's what they mean necessarily, but it's really nothing that is that pressing. It's always fun to try to win those awards and everything like that, but you're certainly focused on stuff like trying to make the finals before you're worried about probably getting one of those awards. So, all right, guys. I'm down into the regulations page. I just flipped to page 2. Now I'm on page 3. There was nothing changed on page 2, but page 3, this section typically had 32 spots in it. They've eliminated one of those, one of the rules out of there. It was just basically redundant. They took out number 23. It was number 23 in 2019, which said trainers may only adopt their Mustangs at the event through a public bid process. During the adoption, trainers must complete a separate BLM adoption application and be able to provide or be approved by the BLM prior to bidding. That's always been the case, and they just took that out. And because it's stated, even in the 2020 version, it's stated on the very last page in the auction day thing. So it was just kind of redundant. They also could have taken out number, it would have been number 29 in 2019. It's number 28 here. It's the same. It's also stated, but nothing. Now, Dramarama. Let's have some fun. So there was some talk on old Facebook there that they had put in a new rule that said that those that didn't complete the challenge or those that chose not to compete with their horse at the makeover could be put up for review and potentially declined to compete in future events and all those sorts of things. And there was all kinds of shit flying on Facebook about that. But honestly, rules always been there. So, incentive. Read the rules and know what the rules are before you compete. Because this rule's in there. I've highlighted it here in the 2020 packet, and I'll read it here in a second. It's number 18 in the 2020 packet. It's also rule number or regulation 18 in the 2019 packet, and it states that for any and all reasons, the trainer is responsible for returning the Mustang to his or her nearest BLM facility, and if she is unable to complete the training and participate in the competition, okay, let me rephrase that because I read that without the right context. It says, for any and all reasons, the trainer is responsible for returning the Mustang to his or her nearest BLM facility if he or she is unable to complete the training and participate in the competition. Period. Participation is subject to the review if an individual has a history of frequently returning Extreme Mustang Makeover or Mustang Heritage Foundation program horses before completing the training or participating in the competition. So, that is stated in both rule packets. It is the same rule, and it's a very good rule because they're looking out for the best interest of these horses and the event itself. And it's pretty normal that if they say, for example, in easy math, if they had 70 horses pick up, they cost average it out to have about half of those horses show up to the competition. So that's a 35 horse event. Now, one, that's pretty sad because if you can decide to compete in this event, you should be committed to actually competing and making it to the competition. There are a select few horses that may not be suitable as 100-day horses, but that is not the vast majority of the horses. That's a fact. And so this rule strictly looks out for the horses and it looks out for the event because they need those horses and they need us as trainers to be there to support the event to be able to make it happen. You know, the more horses, the better. It's a bigger showcase. It's a more competitive finals. It's a bigger show on the freestyle night. It looks better, and it really does have a very big PR standpoint when you have this X amount of horses showing up for that type of competition. And it's good because as trainers, then we get to dig in a little deeper, knowing that many more people we've got to compete against to actually be able to, you know, make the scores that we need to make, and it really makes us dig in. So it's really in the best interest of that. And two, if there's somebody out there that is repeatedly signing up and not showing up with these horses, they should be reviewed, because then at that point they have a record for not completing the task. And this event, as it states in the very beginning, I think it's in the regulation section. Yeah, here it is. So this event, it says participation in this event is by invitation only. Therefore, the Mustang Heritage Foundation Board of Trustees has the unqualified right to determine eligibility and can at any time remove any applicant or contestant from a Mustang Heritage program and or competition for any or for no reason. So it's a private event based on invitation only, and they need people that are actually going to show up. They need people that are actually going to put the time in with these horses and do it in a way that is going to represent these horses and represent the event and Mustangs in general in a positive light. So this isn't a new rule. I'm not going to beat it up, but it is a rule that is a really, really good rule. And I know that some of the drama was surrounded about somebody, a situation that happened where the person just couldn't compete. That is fine, right? It's not intended like, you know, they have people like Stormy Mullins on staff who have a very good sense of reasoning in the fact that if somebody gets hurt, if a horse gets hurt, some fluke life event happens, you know, they take that into consideration, and it states that in the packet here. But it's meant for repeat offenders and people that are not producing the results that benefit the horses and it benefits the event in general. So, you guys, no new rule there, and that's about it for the changes. Not too many big changes here, but the biggest ones being that you got 104 days. 104 days, 2 less weeks to get these horses trained. It's going to be mares 3 and up. And yeah, so there we go. I want to wish everybody the best of luck in the 2020 makeovers. I haven't decided yet. Like I said, it's the middle of December, so I still got a month and a half left if I'm actually going to compete in the Mustang Makeover event. But, you know, I want to wish everybody the best of luck that does compete. And if we do end up throwing our hat in there, I'll look forward to competing against you guys. And, you know, we've talked about helping some folks along the way, so I look forward to helping anybody that does compete in the event, because it is a very family-oriented event. But anyway, guys, hope you guys find this helpful, and be sure you read your rule packet. Y'all have a blessed day. Take care, guys.